Your Highness, the Emir of Kano, Muhammad Shamshudeen II, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me add my voice to the welcome already expressed by Noel Akwata, who, as you heard, is really the brain behind the idea, but we put it together and had the first summit in 2015, and it was extremely successful. I hope that we'll also benefit from this particular summit. My own story with Nigerian electricity has been very long, but probably I should go back to, I think it was 2007. The last 2 years of the Obasanjo administration. I was then Deputy Governor of Operations in the Central Bank. By that post, it meant that every payment, particularly foreign exchange payment by the government, my signature was the last one in terms of approval before the payment was made. After some time, and then we had a process agreed with the government at that time, that before any foreign payment was approved, was allowed to go through, we will receive 2 approvals, one from the Due Process Office, and the second from the Office of the Accountant General. Now, in the last 2 years, the Obasanjo administration was rushing to get particularly the Niger Delta power plants in place. And the then Minister of Power actually wrote a memo to the President to say, because of the urgency with which we need to implement these projects, we want Mr. President to waive these 2 requirements, such that once we take these payment requests to the Central Bank, they should pay immediately so we can get these plans ready. To be honest with you, the President gave the approval. But I was very, very uncomfortable because some of those controls actually did help to ensure that things are done properly. Of course, thereafter, a lot of the payment requests came in very, very speedily. We had no choice. We were a banker to the government. The government instruction is do this, do it this way. To cut a long story short, that's when we rushed to pay for the big plants, that we imported from GE. Some of them, without even knowing how we were going to deliver them to the location of the electricity. I remember one place in, I think it was in Imo State, where nobody thought that the turbine was so heavy that if you use the existing bridge, that bridge would actually collapse if you took a vehicle carrying that turbine on that bridge. And it had to take the government about 2 years to award the contract for building a new bridge and deliver that turbine to that particular station. Of course, so all the rushing that we were doing, the delay in the end came. And that's why it took an average of 6 years to build any of those Niger Delta power plants, the thermal plants, through government. And I remember again in one of the, I was then in government, in one of the presidential meetings on the power sector, we had invited the private sector, and Aliko Dangote came. His representative is here today, we'll hear from him. But he made one remark that actually hit me so hard, and that up to today I remember, which is that because we were still arguing about, some of the plants not being ready, gas not being delivered, and so on and so forth. And he looked at the biggest plant among all the Niger Delta power plants that we were building at the time and said, I don't understand you guys in government. You've taken more than 6 years to build these plants, yet I'm building a plant in my new factory of a slightly bigger size than any one of these here. And it has taken me 6 months to actually build that plant. So the story of electricity, particularly, I have been privileged to be in government, so maybe I was there, I knew all the constraints, the delays, and so on and so forth. But what does the average Nigerian hear of the electricity story from government? We are still hearing 7,000 megawatts as our capacity, with a target of 10,000 megawatts, and maybe 20,000 by 2020, and so on and so forth. We're hearing figures about how many kilometers of transmission lines have been constructed. We've heard recently that the award for the Mambila has been awarded for about $5 billion, and so on and so forth. So we're hearing these huge figures that to the average Nigerian don't even mean anything. And part of the work that I did in my last 2-3 years in government was really addressing the issue of how is government accountable to the Nigerian population? What message, how do we make ourselves accountable? And that's how we went and developed key performance indicators for all the ministers to start saying that, look, when you talk to Nigerians, tell them things in such a way that they can hold you accountable, and that there must be things that they can see directly affect the quality of their lives. So coming back to electricity today, the average Nigerian doesn't want to hear about how many plants you have, how many hydros, how many thermal, how many solar. The simple message that the average Nigerian wants to understand is, okay, today I'm getting 10 hours of uninterrupted electricity supply. What, Mr. Minister, what are you promising? By next year, is it going to be 12? By the following year, 15? And how do we progressively move to guarantee 24 hours supply of electricity? That's what the average Nigerian wants at the end of the day. So when Dr. Akpata approached me about 3 years ago with this idea, I felt good. We need to create a platform where we provide, and you can see a lot of the people here, we have all the people who are in the industry, that's true. But we also have ordinary Nigerians here to hear the electricity story, to try to understand it in simple terms. What is really happening? How quickly are we moving to that guaranteed 24-hour supply of electricity? What are the issues? But the relationship there is different. The regulator, NAC, also calls the industry people. When they sit, is the relationship between a regulator and the regulator. It's a slightly different dynamics that take place. So this forum, we hope, will continue to serve this important point of trying to bring all the parties together under a neutral platform, as well as give opportunity to Nigerians to understand what the issues are regarding electricity. The issue of cross debts now, I mean, some of the current issues that are currently bedeviling, when we have our panel discussions, some of these issues, clearly the issue of tariffs is at the heart of it. But debts, cross debts, the gas company being owed by the GEMCOs, the GEMCOs being owed by the TRANSCO being owed by the DISCOs, DISCOs being owed by the customers. How do we get out of this mess? The regulator is there looking at MITO and all the other issues. What is the optimum tariff? Nigerians need electricity. And I believe that the majority of Nigerians are ready to pay for electricity when it is delivered. The problem is you have to deliver. I was discussing in preparation for this event with one of the GEMCOs who actually should have been here in person, the chairman, and he told me, in fact, part of what the issue that some of the GEMCOs are having today is that they are actually producing more than can be taken by the transmission company. So in fact, some of them are being told, look, slow down. Yet Nigerians at the other end need this electricity. It's not enough. The GEMCOs can produce a lot more, but somewhere in between, and this is again the issues with electricity, between the transmission and distribution, they cannot lift, or even if they lift, they cannot pay for this electricity. So issues of affordability, sustainability of the industry are very important, and that is around the tariff issue. And we're taking advantage of this event. The second plenary session after the first, we have devoted exclusively to the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, because in doing they have done the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. And one of the ways in which they are trying to sell it to the public is to have occasions like this, where they come not only to explain the ERGP, but to say this is the way we intend to deliver. The minister was supposed to be here. Unfortunately, the National Economic Council meeting was shifted to today at a very short notice. And being the Secretariat of NEC, unfortunately, he cannot make it. But he has sent his team, particularly those that are in the delivery unit, to begin to tell us how, in fact, they intend to deliver on some of those promises. I remember, again, as Minister of National Planning, visiting Malaysia in 2012, and they made a presentation to us about how they implemented their Vision 2020. And I recall that when they started these kinds of sessions where they meet a control group like this of their own public at the beginning and ask them, what is the most critical problem that the government should solve? They were almost similar to us at the beginning. And what their public told them is that power, if you can solve the problem of electricity, then you have solved. I'm sure today, if you did such a survey for Nigerians, just say one problem that you want to be resolved, the majority of Nigerians will probably say power. Because if you are able to solve it, the benefits of that in terms of solving other problems are quite enormous. So that's why we felt we should actually create this second plenary in order to allow the Ministry of Budget and National Planning to begin that process of explaining themselves and reaching out to Nigerians in a very credible way, particularly focusing on delivery. Not just promising, but how are you going to deliver on this promise? So I'm very happy to be part of this process of creating this platform as an opportunity to bring all key stakeholders together to address the issues. Chantel is on her way to, and I think she'll be here by about 12. Last year, she made a fantastic presentation. Many people are talking about meters, for example. One of the big challenges is having enough meters to read the electricity supply. I was quite surprised last year after her presentation to learn that there is a company in Nigeria that has the capacity to produce 3-phase meters, not just the one in Zaria that was only producing 1 phase. But not only that, I think when she comes, she will tell her own story. She's got a big project now from the Eco Electricity Company to produce a large number. So we're building the capacity to begin to address some of these problems. Finally, I think let me use this opportunity to also thank our sponsors. Their names are on the board there, but just to mention GE, Dangote Group, Citibank, Mainstream Energy, Zenith Bank, Renaissance Capital, and Union Bank. I welcome you and thank you for your attention. Thank you.